Hello, this is Nick of Craft and Knickknacks. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you how I closed out my January 2019 and started my February 2019 in my bullet journal. When closing out the month, I make sure to update my index. This is when I start putting on all the pages in my index to make sure that the index is updated. And then next, I review my month. I actually do two kinds of review. One is reviewing my planner system. The other is reviewing my actual life and where I am at with my goals. So now you can see me reviewing my planner system. This year, I am reviewing my bullet journal, my social media planner, and my fate journal. I do this every month because I want to make sure that my planner system is working for me and helping me achieve my goals. I write down what worked for me and what I need to improve on, or if there's anything that I need to take out of my planner system. And then at the very end, I do a summary of my planner system, how it worked for me. Next is I review my life or my goals to see where I am at. I make sure I review the goals that I set for myself at the start of the month and at the start of the year. On this part of the review, instead of doing what worked, what didn't work, I do it as an evaluation. So it's more of a paragraph review of how I've been at the different aspects of my life. If you've seen my goals video, you would know that I have identified 4 key areas in my life, so I'm reviewing those here. And then making sure that I update my index again because I added pages to my January. Next, I start decorating my February. I do not set a specific theme at the start of the year for every month. What I do is just think of it spontaneously. So this month, I am doing cats. My husband actually suggested this because I was asking him what theme would be best for February and I don't want to do Valentine's Day. So I always start my month with the left page being the cover page and the right page as my highlights of the month. This is so I don't spend extra time trying to count or trying to fit everything in since I've already done that in January. And then I set up my calendar. You can see me counting the number of squares and referencing to the January calendar. You can't see the ink marks on the video, but what I'm doing is marking or putting dots on the different parts of the page to mark where I need to put my lines. This is so I can avoid the extra step of using a pencil to draw my lines. The dots are barely visible, so if I make a mistake, I can easily ignore them. But they are visible enough to help me line my pages. Then you'll see me rotating my book from time to time. This is so I can put the ruler at the optimal way or position where it has a lot of space to sit on. Because towards the right edge, or rather the left edge of the page, it's hard to use the ruler. So what I do is to turn it around to make sure that the ruler is secure in the page and it won't wobble and make crooked lines when I line with it. You can see here that I made a mistake in the lining or making the squares for the first week of February, which is okay. It's something I can ignore. Anyway, that week has already passed. And then I proceeded to use the same Ziglin color real brush pen that I used in the previous pages. It doesn't show here, but I also used it as a color at the corner of each calendar day. And then jumping quickly into my tracker or daily tracker, I used a cat sticker to keep it in theme and then wrote talaan for tracker. And you can see me making the calendar right now. I'm tracking less things this month because I figured I'm not really using all of the trackers that I'm making. So to save time and effort, I just limited my tracking to 9 things. I really make an effort to make my tracker look like a calendar because this way it's easier for me to track or to mark the days that I did something. I usually update my trackers like at the end of the week or during half of the month and then at the end of the month. So I need an easier way to recall if I actually did what I'm tracking or not. I tried having a static looking calendar before, where the first line is always 7 days and I have 4 rows, then the last row has lesser like 4 days, I think. But that didn't work for me because I was having a hard time updating it. I use my mild liners to color code my tracker. This is because I want more than a one-dimensional tracking. So let's say, for example, the last row of trackers is my social media. I have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I have a tracker for if I followed my schedule, if I did not follow the schedule but uploaded something, and if I did not do anything at all. It's multidimensional, so it will help me track if I'm doing really well in my social media or not. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll see that I've been doing it this way for quite some time now. My mild liners are my favorite way of marking things in my tracker. Next is my financial tracker. As much as I want to mimic how a calendar looks like how I do it for my trackers, I wasn't able to do it because this kind of tracking for my finances takes a lot of space. So instead of forming the calendar, what I did was I made rows, 1 row per week. Then I created cells where I update or write the amount that I spent on each cell per day. To make it easy, the first cell or the first column is always Monday, second is Tuesday, and so on. The trackers on top are expenses related to me working. So these are my commute expenses, food expenses. You'll notice that I only have 4 columns for the work ones. This is because I work 5 days a week, so I only need Monday to Friday. The trackers at the other half of the page, however, transcends work days, so I have 7 columns all in all. So I labeled each row its corresponding ISO week number, and the first week of February starts at week number 6. And here's a fun trivia for you. There is an international standard of numbering the weeks. It's part of ISO standard 8601, and it states that the first week of January or week 1 of the year actually should contain January 4. So whatever week contains January 4 is considered week 1. And then the rest of the weeks just follows. So there are cases where the first day of the year falls on a Thursday, or if it's a leap year and falls on a Wednesday, we'll have 53 weeks. And now we're done. Here's a flip through of my February pages. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell button on the side to get notified of new videos.